Hey guys, so it's time for another tutorial. This time I'm going to do a little progression between two minor chords. Well, I don't know if it's really progression, but it's just two minor chords and going in between them, and I think it sounds really cool. It's not too hard to do, and I think I can show you some cool tips to play this really well. So, what we're first going to start off with is the two chords, which are the E flat minor 7 and the F minor 7 chords. So for E flat minor 7, we have E flat, F sharp or G flat, B flat, and D flat. And for all these, you can always play the bass note if you really feel like it. So for the E flat minor 7, I would play an E flat in the bottom. It can give it a little bit more, well, more feeling. That's for damn sure. So for the F minor 7, we have F, A flat, C, and E flat. And you can do the same thing. And so I'm going to give you some scales really quick to that you could use on these. So for the E flat minor 7s, you can use an E flat Dorian scale, which is going to be E flat, F, F sharp or G flat, A flat, B flat, C, and D flat. So you can play any of these notes on the E flat minor 7 chord, so just listen a little bit. Yeah, and you can play them in any way that you want. All these notes will sound good. And then for the F minor 7, what we're going to use is the F Dorian scale, which is going to be F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, and E flat. It's the same deal with the E flat minor 7 chord, as you can play any of these notes too. And actually you can play just the E flat Dorian while you're switching in between chords. So this, watch, I'm only playing the E flat Dorian. So it sounds okay that way. But you don't want to play the F Dorian scale on the E flat Dorian. You can try it and and see if it works. I don't think it does. But anyway, so some other soloing tips I can give you are, well, you can emphasize the differences between these scales. And so between the E flat Dorian and the F Dorian, there are like two notes that are that mainly change, which is the G flat and the D flat change to a G and a D from the E flat Dorian to the F Dorian scale. So you have this, but then when you go to the F minor, in the F Dorian, you'll go to the G. So you're going to want to change that and emphasize that difference, and it'll sound really good. So if I was just doing a line and I wanted to end on G, because in E flat Dorian we don't have we only have the G flat, then I would go like, and then you go just a half step over to the G. And just make sure you play that when you switch to the F minor chord. Some other things you can do is you can play every other note in each of the scales on each chord. So for the E flat minor, you can play every other note, just starting on any note in the E flat Dorian. So I'll start on F, right? So every other note. Move it up, and then when you change to the F minor, now you can pick a note and then go every other note in F Dorian, every other note from that note that you picked. So for G, so it'd be G B flat, and then D, and then you could just go down, up or down in that, and back to the E flat. So that's something you can do. Another thing that works is that you can use the pentatonic scales on this. So for you can use the A flat pentatonic on the E flat minor 7 chord. So A flat pentatonic is going to be A flat, B flat, C, E flat, F, and then A flat. now try it on the E flat minor 7 chord. And go to the F minor chord, you can play the E flat pentatonic scale. So, or E flat major pentatonic scale. I should have said that for the other one too. But so E flat pentatonic is going to be E flat, F, G, B flat, C. So it's going to sound like this on the F minor. And then that's when I went back to the E flat minor and E flat Dorian. So yeah, you can use those, and they sound great. I mean, so there I was just going up and down in the pentatonic, and then playing like 2 notes at a time though. So and just experiment with it. I'm sure you can come up with cool licks on your own as well. So another thing you can do on like the E flat minor is that you could, or the F minor of course, you can play 2 notes in your left hand for every 1 note in your right hand. So if you just try it, it'll sound like this. Like, so you play 1 note here, and then, so let's say I play the chord, 1 note here, and then 2 notes here. Same thing on the F minor. So yeah, it works there too. And what else can I teach you? So what you can do also is, like all these scales that I've taught you, you can play octaves with them while you're playing the chords. So on the E flat minor 7 chord, then you can play in the E flat Dorian scale, but with octaves. Like so you play 1 note on the bottom, like with your thumb, and then the other one with your pinky. But it's the same note, just up an octave. So watch, I'm going to go up in the E flat Dorian scale, and then down, and then I'm going to change to the F Dorian. You can also skip, or you can also play the A flat, those 2 pentatonic scales I told you about before, is you can do octaves with them. So watch, I'll do A flat pentatonic, but octaves now. And now, same thing. So I think that sounds pretty cool, and you can use that if you want. You can also use, let's see, in the pentatonic scales, you can do every other note as well, just like you did with the Dorian scales, right? You did every other note. But you can with the pentatonic, so now let's see if we have this A flat pentatonic, right? I can do every other note, right? So I'll start on A flat, I'll do every other note. And I'll just do every other note just with one time, so with 2 notes. So this is what it'll sound like with the chord. And just like mix it around, and you don't have to do like every other note. You can do a little bit more compacted, That'll sound good too. But I just wanted to give you guys some ideas, and I think this is like a great progression to start out on, and just start messing around. I mean, I guess I could have taught you in another minor scale with maybe all white keys, but hopefully you can learn this from the tutorial. And I mean, it's just you just need to know those two scales basically, and these 2 chords, right? And then use the A flat pentatonics and stuff if you want to. But I'm running out of time, so I hope you guys have found this helpful. And hopefully I'll be doing some more soon.